still going. You might need to refresh. Hang on a second. Refresh the streams.
Yep, we're back. We're going.
Oh, join Twitch today. Fuck off. What do you mean join Twitch today? I'm streaming to it. Go away.
You know, I'm not going to talk about the bridge. This meltdown is a lot better than any bit we could come up with.
Streamlabs. Right. I am attached to Twitch via Streamlabs. Brilliant. Great. Marvellous. Fantastic. Wonderful. All the codes have been given and everything else like that.
Join Twitch today.
And well, quite. I go to chat in my own chat room and I've got to sign in and do this, that and the other. Let me see. Let's have a quick look. I need to... Right. Join Twitch today. No. Right. Username. You know what the problem with this is going to be, don't you? I won't be able to remember the password.
Right about now, I don't think God could guess what the problem is going to be.
No. So it must be the other one.
You can't remember your password.
No, I have. It's just they've turned around and said they're sending a code to my phone.
Oh, yeah, they have two-factor authentication now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is why I always stay logged in. This is awesome. It's fantastic.
Quality entertainment.
So the bridge is two lanes going north and 2 lanes going south.
Uh-huh.
And they think restricting it to 1 lane going north and south each
will help.
Well, no, that just pisses everyone off.
Is there like a lightly lower lane and a higher lane, or does it go? It's just straight
It's flat. Yeah, they've coned it off into one lane going north and south.
That's all I wanted to put up.
They've also lowered the speed limit to 45, flat out.
Okay.
Nobody obeys that.
Well, no, of course
you go miles per hour over there, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good, so do we.
Yeah.
We're this bizarre country where we have both imperial and metric.
You know why you do that?
Because we're
you
idiots.
Choose whichever one is going to be more impressive when saying the measurement. Accept weight of your own body, which you choose one which sounds smaller.
I tend to go by featherweight.
He's onto something.
Just 2 bags of feathers. That's all I weigh.
I mean, stone requires doing complicated division for no reason, just to make yourself sound smaller. It's not even an easy number to divide.
But you do pounds, don't you?
Yes. You get on the scale, it says pounds.
Well, we go into stones because it's easy to say, like 5 stones, 15. That's not that would be 6.
Easier.
That would be
That
6 stone,
no sense.
1 ounce, or 1
That's
pound.
also not easier. You've now taken a simple measurement and you've converted it to something else and done remainder division.
America will use pretty much anything except the metric system in order to delineate weight.
At school,
Sounds like
they were all
Britain
like,
will steal everything.
they were all like, you guys are going to, this is what we use, but then you're also going to learn the metric system because, very soon we're going to switch over. And we all learn the metric system.
Do the problem as set, Susan.
And I just can't be bothered.
But I can't, Mr. Chesterton, not without D&D. Yes, sorry, I had a lead problem. Right, okay, so we need to talk about Doctor Who.
Yes.
I can't think of any news, to be honest with you.
I'm about 17 stone. There you go.
Yeah, I'm about that, but it's still too much, I think, for the surgeon. But I'm being referred back again for the 3rd time.
That has to be exhausting.
I can't lose any more weight. I can't exercise.
No.
If I could exercise, it might help.
And let's be honest, they don't actually need you to. They can calculate everything they need to based on the weight that you already are, and they can sort it out. It is completely possible. They choose not to.
I think it's a bit of gatekeeping because they're just so
Yeah,
inundated.
absolutely, it's gatekeeping.
They're overwhelmed.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
frankly.
But it happens over here all the time too with the medical system of you need a knee replacement, you need an XYZ, instead of just accepting you at the weight you are and making accommodations.
XYZ.
No,
Yes.
No.
Yes.
no.
Christian, is it Z or is it that other
English
degenerate
teacher.
colonial thing?
English teacher.
Ooh.
I'm
Who
just
speaks
saying.
American?
Well, how else does the alphabet song work? It doesn't rhyme if you end with Z.
We never used
Yeah,
it.
you don't go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J,
We
K,
never
L, M, N,
used
O,
it.
P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
I and Z.
Z.
It doesn't work.
It
None
doesn't
of the
work.
others end in ED.
A-ed,
Listen,
sad, Chad, that, no.
I mean, I'm going to be fair. You can take any particular point in history, up to, well, and say, excuse me a second. At that point in history, whoever was the boss gave you the English language. And I include us here. So, in my case, it would be the Normans. And over here, it would be the Saxon scum. And it's... Yeah. But we gave you the language. Don't screw it up.
No, we adapted it and made it better.
We made it our own.
I just want you to know that the land that became New Jersey was sold for $1 measly by a bunch of
I
slave
just
traders.
want you to know
That
there are
sounds about
more.
right for New Jersey.
I just want you to know that New Jersey has per capita more landfills than Los Angeles has lawyers.
Jesus Christ.
And New Jersey got to pick first. That's why.
Do you want to talk about Doctor Who?
Why not?
Do you remember that? That was fun. Do you remember when we
Kinda,
did it?
sorta. There are all sorts of questions.
So anyway, we've got. Well, we're starting off with Wild Blue Yonder,
Okay, all right. A fairly straightforward episode.
a 14th Doctor Who. We think we're not sure anymore. Curse you, Chibnall, and his Blackie Gale assistant Donna Noble, after caffeinating the TARDIS, accidentally land on. Yes.
I have a point of order.
Do you need to be excused?
We have to call Donna a plucky girl assistant because she's a married woman. She's a mother. She's grown up.
How old are you?
Old enough not to care.
Okay. And what is your gender?
Male.
And yet I call you a plucky girl assistant.
Yeah, okay.
It's a case of, there are far bigger outrages on this than Donna.
I'm just saying.
It's
She is the noblest of Donnas.
Exactly.
not the noblest.
She is the
Bernana.
noble temple.
Well done.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Very good. I'm in praise learning. It's all down to mindfulness. Of course,
Hey,
you can't
just
take any
be-
credit.
like I said earlier this week, just because I hate something doesn't mean I haven't been listening.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, they've landed on. Well, first of all, they land in a tree and drop apples on Isaac Newton and screw up the creation of gravity so it becomes mavity. I think that was a one. Unless it's going to come back in the next series as a thing, I think that.
I think it was just a joke, but something I haven't heard anybody else talk about related to that scene is that it sets up the idea, obviously Isaac Newton gravity, it sets up the idea of natural forces and physics, right?
Mhm.
And that what we think of as natural forces and physics can be changed. And then the rest of the episode, we have characters that do not abide by the rules of physics.
Excellent.
Up to
Excellent.
a point,
Very good analogy.
Up to a point, I
Until
would agree
they
with you.
choose to, right? They choose to become beings that abide,
Because it was a
but
nice.
they still don't always.
It was a nice little touch, I thought, that it got colder when they were drawing energy out of the air to grow.
Yes.
That I thought
Because
a bit, someone's thought that through a little bit.
Yes, and
Don't
they're
often get that.
they're in our. I mean, obviously they're at a. You haven't gotten that far, but they're in a transitional zone. They're in our universe, but we're really close to their nothingness. And our universe abides by the laws of natural physics, but they don't have to unless they want to.
Okay, apparently this has now become a cult. Who knew? Worshipping
I also
aliens that don't obey the...
I have a small issue with that entire Isaac Newton scene.
Yeah.
Isaac Newton being described as hot.
Well, the Doctor, or the 14th Doctor,
Well,
is bi.
we have seen pictures of Isaac Newton. And he is not hot, and nor would he be considered hot for having died a virgin alone in his bed.
Yeah, but that's the true fate of the scientist.
Well, no, that's what you get for introducing the alphabet into math.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You kind of that's what you get if you do calculus. Like
Yeah.
that's your fault.
When you create calculus,
You had that coming.
yeah, nobody's going to want to be with you.
Did you have to crack that gag just as I blew my nose?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
It was
Yes.
clearly a retroactive curse from years of high schoolers that had to do calculus.
Exactly.
I take it you mean algebra.
Yes, but also, didn't he do calculus?
No, I don't know. I don't know the difference between algebra and calculus.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
No, I think he invented calculus because he was quarantined during the plague and got
Alone.
bored.
Sounds familiar. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Welcome to 2020.
Yeah.
It's okay. The doctor, invented a whole new type of screwdriver
I used to love quadratic
instead
equations.
of going out with girls. I mean,
Quadratic
I
equations
was great at them.
are algebra meeting geometry.
I
But
still hate
astrology
geometry.
Still algebra.
I hate geometry. I for my O level, because I didn't know any of the rules or anything, I just couldn't remember them. I ended up trying to draw every diagram to scale, scaling it down to try and measure the angles, and I got a U for unclassified.
Oh dear.
I was brilliant at arithmetic, but what the hell's going on over here? Oi, stop chasing
to
me.
this day, I have not used algebra in real life,
No, I don't believe
so I
have.
think they were lying to me.
There must
They
be a job
teach
where
it
you
to
need
teach
it.
you logical thinking.
However, the mitochondria is the powerhouse, of the cell.
Yeah.
I didn't do biology, thank God. I did
I did.
physics.
I did. I did take physics. I took biology, chemistry, physics, and then organic chemistry. But my physics teacher assumed that you understood physics and liked calculus, neither of which were true for me. And
Should be some sort of warning before you sign up, really, shouldn't there?
well, I got the textbook, and the textbook said, "This is a textbook of concepts. We're going to use as little, as few equations as possible. This is an introductory textbook. It's mostly concepts." And I was like, "Okay, concepts I can cope with."
Mm-hmm.
And then we got in, and he started writing equations on the board and went, "I assume you've all had calculus." I hadn't. I was struggling in the pre-calc course I was in. And I ended up writing an awful lot of poetry in that class. Let's just put it that way.
Well, our maths teacher,
I was
Jack
pretty
Renner,
good at organic chemistry.
head of
Organic chem I
Making the
liked.
models and stuff, that was all easy. I could do that in my sleep.
I had a lab partner who knew she already wanted to be a pharmacist. She is now a pharmacist. So she did all the experiments. I mean, I was there, but she organized all the experiments. She did all that, and then I wrote the lab reports.
Nice.
That's the perfect combination, quite frankly.
I knew quite a few that wanted to be a pharmacist and kind of started a little early in that area.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I remember when we went for the last 2 years of what you would call high school. we called secondary school. That was when...
At least you're getting the terminology right.
You interrupted, didn't you? Shit. Git.
High school. Secondary
school. Maths. Okay. So I'd done really well in my third year because we were doing arithmetic and heavy arithmetic stuff, to be honest with you. I ended up getting a distinction from the London Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Wow.
And the following year, I found out I was being put into the CSE maths class rather than the O-level maths class. And I was well put out by this because I thought I'd done so well. Now, our head of maths was a guy called Jack Reno. By cry, he was a Jerseyman. Oh, hell. Yes. You couldn't really... If you weren't used to the Jersey accent, you would have problems. And then there was the handwriting on the board.
It's a learned skill. Handwriting clearly
Completely
on a board.
illegible. And he'd get really pissed off every time we asked him, what does this mean? What does that say? What? He must have thought we were taking the mickey or something. But he couldn't read it. You just couldn't. I didn't last very long. So none of us can count, which is nice. Anyway.
Okay. In high school, I took science fiction for my English class.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
The teacher told me, well, you could have
We
gone
get
on
set
and
texts,
did
so-
this, did, the higher level English course. And I looked at her straight and went, yeah, but this is more fun.
Fair enough. We got a set.
We watched Terminator 2. All right. We were reading things like A Boy and His Dog, Heinlein, the whole thing. And it's like, yeah, this stuff is good. Why do I want to go and do that stuff? It's
You see,
boring.
we had a set. I was going to say a set menu, a set thing, set curriculum. There we go. Of what we had to study for English language, because English was split into two: English language and English literature. Language is basic things like composition, comprehension, etc. And literature is basically reading the book, getting used to the book, learning about the book, learning what the author might have meant about the book. And so we had the three. We had Julius Caesar by...
Shakespeare.
Yes. And 1984 by George R. Orwell, because it was 1984. And Chaucer's The Pardoner's Tale, which we're not going into again.
It's okay. You were wrong. We know.
Look, it was over 40 years ago.
It's okay.
No. It's not that it was over 40 years ago. It's that you stuck to your guns so hard on this that you insisted you were right, which is a great segue into the next Doctor Who.
It is. We're not there yet, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went a bit wrong.
We're
I'm
actually
still
at the
haven't given up on
pre-credit
that. I'm
sequence.
determined one day to sit down and look it up properly. If it means I've got to buy a copy of The Pardoner's Tale, I will buy a copy of The Pardoner's
You don't
Tale.
have to. It's well out of
Really?
Tale PDF. Yeah.
I don't know if I can go back to Willem in Flanders was a company of young folk that haunted and folly, and you're there going, what the hell? Is that Middle English or Old English? I don't know.
That's Middle English because you're reading it in the original. I mean, a lot of places read translation. I read translation with the kids.
No, we had
because I
to
don't
learn
Middle
it.
English
Learn it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so the TARDIS has got a hiccup. Belches out flame. The Doctor goes to repair it, sticking the end of the sonic screwdriver into the ship. The TARDIS thinks, well, bugger that, that's cancelled the pause operation. Android's invasion, if anybody's interested. And I'll carry on with my journey. Well, she needed to. She was in a bit of a state. But apparently the TARDIS is scared. Which involves something to do with having to go and have arses kicked or something. I'm not entirely certain. Donna was...
Well, if there's something on the ship
Yes.
that's scaring the TARDIS,
Yes.
it needs to have its ass kicked.
Okay, good. Cats. Sorry. Right. And they're walking down. It's the ultimate piss take. It's the longest corridor in Doctor Who. Looked good, I thought. Looked very good.
I mean,
we
this
don't
is definitely
have
an episode where you go, oh, that's where the money went.
Yeah, we don't have Marvel or Star Wars budget, but you can see there's been.
They do have Disney money.
They have some Disney money there, yeah.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing, and I heard someone else say this, but basically it's Underworld.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Well, the P7E isn't involved, nor is the Oracle, but see,
it's essentially a, we didn't build a set for this. Yeah, there's a few things that are sets.
So what we've worked out then is that in a Doctor Who story that's on the edge of the universe, you're not allowed to use real sets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which makes sense thematically. That some of it
yeah,
doesn't
Brian,
exist and
have
how
we
much
done
does.
Underworld?
I don't believe so.
It's Tom Baker?
No.
No, it's Tom Baker. I'm just saying. To cheer you up.
No, I know. I don't believe this is one of the few that we have not done.
In that case, I think we need to.
Okay. We're not doing it for next show because we're going to have the next movie.
Do you want to tell him or shall I?
Oh no, leave it as a surprise.
Okay, good. That's what we'll do. Righty-ho. It's a good scarf. It's a really good scarf. They find a robot who's moving very, 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 very slowly.
Marvin is right pissed off, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. I don't like that version of Marvin. Give me the TV version every time. I'm sorry.
He does. He looks a lot like Marvin in the new film.
From the movie, yeah. In the new film. Do you know how old that film is now?
It was done in the
still
21st century.
Than
It's
the
new.
70s version.
Anyway.
It's the newest film we got.
Okay, here's the thing. Media for me is always like the new kid at school. I went to a school where there was like 60 kids in each grade, 30 kids per class. And that was it. Somebody had to leave for someone new to come in. So you were the new kid until someone new came in. And it might be 3 or 4 years that you were the new kid. Mm-hmm. So media is the new version until another one comes along.
American cousins. Anyway.
It's like the same thing at work. You're the FNG until the next person comes in.
Yeah.
So, it seems to be going along all right. There's a few spooky noises and whatever. And then the narrative does something very strange. First of all, Donna notices it's getting colder, and then the Doctor comes back in because he's gone out to another room.
Don't forget licking the circuit board.
I don't need to now, do I?
I'm just saying, licking the circuit board.
You really got you that, didn't it?
Yeah, well, computer guy. Yeah. You don't lick circuit boards, especially when they're dripping in goo.
No touchy.
You know what that goo is.
You mean you don't take apart random other people's computers and lick them?
No, I'm afraid to take other people's computers apart because one time I pulled out almost an entire cat.
Ew.
Fair. Anyway.
It gets everywhere.
I will continue this because we've still got the giggle to do afterwards. And we've been going an hour. Is it an hour? Yeah, it's an hour. So, that's when the narrative starts to get odd. You've seen the Doctor in one room, Donna in the other, but the Doctor and Donna are together in both rooms. And you realise, hopefully you realised before the reveal that these are
I thought it was a time split. I thought there'd been some kind of time shift thing.
That's a fair
where
thing to
they'd
think.
walked into one room and the other. That's what I was thinking when the cameras then cut back. And then you realize, not actually so much with Tennant's acting, but definitely with Tate's acting, you realize, oh, there's something weird about her.
Well,
I mean,
her arm
Tennant
was too long.
Playing it tired.
My arms are too long.
Obviously. I mean...
Oh, what? Do you remember Stretch Armstrong?
Yeah.
Yes.
I had one.
Stretchy Tennant.
Yeah.
They should make an action figure.
Yes, Stretchy Tennant action figure. And if you pull it hard enough, Ncuti Gatwa falls out.
Spoilers. We're not there yet.
All right. So it appears that there are a couple of creatures on board this ship, intelligences, who can, as we've mentioned, convert heat into mass, energy into mass, and science. And they've taken on the form of the Doctor and Donna. And they want to get into the universe because they're so far out, they can't. And so to do that, they're going to need the TARDIS. But I don't
Which is why the TARDIS ran.
Buggered off, yeah. There's a nice mystery as to what the clang is on the outside. It's a hook. It's just clanging. But when they look, they also see the equine skeleton of the ship's pilot.
And I didn't realize at the time it was equine. It looked like a dinosaur to me.
We've just found one in some cliffs over here. Huge sea monster head.
Ooh,
Look it up.
Excellent.
Wait. Was it near Scotland?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, just checking.
You're hoping, aren't you?
I want her to live.
It's better to move on.
Brian, let's look at this sensibly for a moment. The species would have had to survive for, 65 million years?
Give or take.
Yeah, okay. And everyone's going on about Nessie. Who's Mr. Nessie, and how do the other little Nessies come along? How do the species survive? I don't think there's anything there if there ever was.
Look at alligators.
It's a nice dream to have,
age.
But it's...
They just keep getting larger and larger until they outgrow their ecosystem.
Nice point on science.
But
I think it's a myth. Yes, it's a myth. So,
as opposed to a myth is?
I don't know. Who wants to go first on this?
Well, I've already talked quite a bit.
All right, so Brian.
Oh, me. Okay.
Yeah, remember? You, love.
Me. Wild Blue Yonder.
Yes.
You know, I think what they were saying about the song at the beginning.
I didn't get that at all because I don't know the song, so...
Off we go into the Wild Blue Yonder.
No.
It's the fight song of the U.S. Air Force.
There's your answer. I don't mean that. There is a certain ignorance on my part. I've never knowingly heard that song, so I don't know it.
Okay, so it was quite a discussion they had about it, and yeah, seeing Mrs. Peanut, just not get the whole. It's a military song about going off to war. Just doesn't get it. However.
Well,
I have to say the special effect and the deep.
Sorry, I'm just going to interrupt you there to sort of give you another example of that. The hymn, Jerusalem. That is a satire on the state of Britain. And yet everybody goes, oh, isn't this wonderfully patriotic?
Yeah, that's because they haven't read Blake. Blake's a depressing film.
What about Avon? You knew I was going to go there with that question.
You want a good one?
Avon wouldn't write poetry.
Well, now.
He would just sneer in your general direction.
The Macarena.
Yes.
Now I'm thinking of Amy Pond.
if you guys remember the 90s when the Macarena came out,
this is after
you
my
had
time.
all these little kids dancing to it and everything, and everybody thought it was great. No one listened to the goddamn words.
Was it one of those?
It was about a chick cheating on her boyfriend with his two best friends.
Oops.
At the
Rosie!
same time.
Yes, Rosie has decided to visit because it's her supper time.
It's a podcast in cats.
Hello, Rosie.
It's just a shame.
So yeah,
it's just a shame Tormund isn't here tonight.
no, Tormund doesn't come up on my desk.
Tormund, I believe, is
He
a bit
knows
like
better.
the aliens in Wild Blue Yonder, in that he sucks energy out of the atmosphere and grows.
Yes, he's gigantic.
So the big problem they've got, they work out what's going on. They work out that basically, I didn't quite understand the whole time thing, how they had to do everything quickly or slowly. I didn't understand that quite so well.
Because the aliens, because they're not used to the rules of and the dynamics of this universe's physics, they also do not understand the concept of lineal time.
Right.
Because for them,
big
nothingness is nothingness. And they understand that things happen after other things, but the concept of when those things are happening.
Love me, mama.
Yes, and give her food. They cannot comprehend.
So until they stop this thing from happening, that thing does not happen.
Yes, Christian, very much so. Sorry, I'm replying.
Sorry,
to the chat.
Phantom reference.
Anyway, carry on, please, Brian.
When you had the aliens being Doctor and Donna, it was fantastic.
It's very
not only the special effects, the whole deforming them and everything, just drawing.
The acting
was good, especially when they got them alone and you couldn't tell who's the real one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. I'm taking off my tie. Where's your tie?
Yes. Okay. All of that stuff felt very Moffat.
Yeah.
Yep. Christian says the acting was top tier.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're actually getting input, which is taking me by surprise slightly.
Rosie has things to say. What do you have to say, Rosie?
Feed me.
Yeah, that is feed me, Krellborn, feed me now. That's it must be blood.
Okay, so that makes sense.
I demand a sacrifice.
So the ship's captain worked this out and set an explosive charge to destroy the ship, but very slowly. Hence the robot working. I love the way all those little bits fell into place. My cats are off on one. Oh God. I know it's good.
Rosie on the screen,
and
or maybe they can hear her or something. I don't know.
No.
I
shouldn't have done that. Well, and so the robot has to get to the button very slowly. So it's a race. And then the Doctor realises, and it's a very exciting race to get down that very long corridor. The Doctor realises, hang on a second, it should be safe for the TARDIS to come back now. And lo and behold, it does.
Okay, I do want to go back just a second, though.
Okay.
When they're figuring it out with the multiple Doctors and the multiple Donnas, and they're on the other side of the force field, and the Doctor realizes that they're reading his mind as he's figuring out the solution, they're going to get the answer. And they're going to get it before he could do anything about it. And he tries to stop himself thinking.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah.
Which I thought of, like, all these people I know who can't stop their brains. That has to be so relatable. Of shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. And not being able to.
You need to find your daisiest daisy. That's not gobbledygook. That's genuine. Make a note of the word gobbledygook, darling. I like it. I want to use it more.
Yes, Rosie,
Doctor nearly
do
cocks
we
up and
have to
takes
get
the
you
wrong
food?
Donna with him.
Yes.
Now that's one. And it builds into something that happens, gets brought up in the giggle, which we'll come back to when we discuss the giggle. So, please, more thoughts on Wild Blue Yonder.
The aliens' inability to conceive of anything being simultaneously two things, brilliant and stupid.
Yes.
I love that. That stopping them with salt and then making Alien Donna count all the salt grains.
Oh, Christian said Tennant was so good and it played to his strengths.
It did. It really did.
Yes. Because he plays evil very well.
He does,
or
doesn't
sinister.
Have you ever seen
He
Des?
really does.
Mm-hmm.
I've not. No.
He plays a serial killer, Des Nielsen. I think it's Desmond Nielsen.
Oh, I was aware that he was in that, and I did not watch it because it was not.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
Television.
I'm going to be honest with you, but he is superb in it.
And I've seen his Hamlet, and he's excellent in Hamlet. And he's getting ready to do Macbeth if he hasn't started already.
I think
he's
so,
old
yes.
enough now he
Nice.
can do Macbeth.
And his Crowley is fantastic.
His Crowley's fantastic. So I think getting that edge, the older he's gotten, and the sort of the cragginess in the face plays into that. He can do that edge.
The one where he was the police detective.
Broadchurch.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one either because that was not an Elizabeth show either.
He was intense. He was good.
He's also Scottish.
Well,
just say.
Yes, he is.
It would have been nice, and somebody else said this. I think it was Rachel. It would have been nice if, in this incarnation of the Doctor, he got to use his actual accent.
I thought that.
That would be good. Yeah, but they already had a Scottish Doctor.
They've had
Capaldi.
two. I've had Sylvester. They've had.
No, I mean recently.
You need to make that definition, that little
They've
thing clear. We're talking
Scottish
60 years.
The last decade.
This is 60 years, by the way. And
Last
the new Doctor
decade.
was brought up in Scotland. And there's a hint of
every
Scottish
what? 30, 40 years they have a Scottish Doctor?
No, it's more than that. There's a bit of a competition going on between the Liverpudlian Doctors and the Scottish Doctors. The Liverpudlians only have two. The Scots have got three. So that's...
and how many red-headed companions?
Oh, yeah, they buggered that up a little bit. Everyone forgot Turlo.
So wait, Donna wasn't the first redhead? No.
So overall opinions then, or anything in particular you need to make a point of for Wild Blue Yonder?
I really like the acting. I like the feeling of isolation, the building of the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there wasn't quite enough story. There was not a subplot. No. There was only one plot,
which is unusual.
Now there was,
but it was the same with Midnight.
It was,
in which is fairly similar.
I am more likely to rewatch this than to rewatch Midnight. I do not like Midnight, and it's because it's too effective.
Christian says the story is a feel. I don't know. The story has a feel. Has taken some thematic things from Midnight, but amplified them.
Yeah, that's true. And also, the one thing it does that Midnight doesn't do is to give the presence an actual body for itself. It gives it physical form, whereas it's not. Yes, it's duplicating theirs, but it is its own creation. It's not a parasite. Well, in Midnight, we never see what it is.
No, and in this, we don't see what it is.
Well, in this, it doesn't have a
separate entity. It's not only inhabiting others.
Yeah,
okay.
It's fair. Not restricting the cast to only the Doctor and Donna means all the other bullshit goes away. You don't have oh, are they or aren't they? You don't have questions of who's possessing who. It's you're either the Doctor or you're Donna.
Mm-hmm.
And no one else is there.
The questions that we don't get answers to about these creatures is that they must, if their plan is go out in the universe and use these abilities to expand and create power and wreak havoc, they must therefore be adaptable. They must not freeze into the forms, although they said, like, oh, she was 99.9% Donna, whatever. They must not freeze and solidify into those forms, or this plan doesn't work.
Unless they can solidify into the forms, then desolidify again.
Right. They must be able to continually change their form at will.
But do we need to know that? In this, in the context of this story? Is that information that's necessary?
But I think that it's one of those things that you think about. You think, okay, we know what their plan is, or at least we know what we think their plan is in order to accomplish their plan. But then again, maybe these are creatures that don't think like that. They've only ever met the captain of this ship, and presumably there were crew at some point. We don't know.
Nay.
And I see what you did there.
Thank you. I just wanted to recommend, some sort of recognition for that.
It would have been nice.
Thank you, Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
If the captain was like Brobdingnagian or something, that would have been a nice little.
Was what?
Not Brobdingnagian. That's the wrong word. Hominiminum?
Da, 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 da.
In Gulliver's Travels, he encounters a race of horses.
Right, okay. You're an English teacher,
anyway.
aren't you?
Yeah.
But
anyway, I think that it left us with a lot of questions. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think that the plot felt stretched. I could have done with a little more subplot in there, but given that it's bookmarked by two really action plot, millions things happening at once, kind of too many ideas stories. I enjoyed them, but there's a lot of ideas in both of them. This was one idea.
I'm gonna agree with you partially. However, I want to point out one thing. Creatures from beyond space, formless, coming into our universe.
Mm-hmm.
And now onto the giggle.
Mm-hmm.
Oi. Stop.
Yes.
And
they say there's a direct connection in the giggle.
And yeah, he's actually said, "My children."
There's more coming. Do you want to move on to the giggle?
Sure.
Okay. Because one thing we haven't mentioned yet is Wilf.
Yes. That was a lovely little ending.
That was terrific.
Yeah. Salute to the soldier.
Yeah. And doing exactly what Donna said he would.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, the 14th Doctor Who, we think, we're not sure, Kirsty Chibnall, and his plucky girl assistant, Donna Noble, have landed back on Earth after being out by the edge of the universe, and Wilf's there, and the whole world's going bloody nuts. Basically, somebody took the internet and made it real life.
That's exactly what I said during the watch party.
I remember you saying, yes. Everyone's incredibly entitled. It's a bit like a chapter from Doctor and the Cricket Men, actually, by James Goss and Douglas Adams. Anyway, they land on a planet where everybody's offended by everything. I'm so offended.
No, everybody
by
is right. They're not offended. They're right.
Well,
everybody is right, and you cannot convince them otherwise.
It's that similar attitude. Unit come and pick them up because Unit do that sort of thing nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
They've got themselves. They bought Avengers Tower and rebuilt it. It's a return swap for London Bridge, basically. You got London Bridge, we got.
I was wondering, after what happened in that Cybermen story, to basically the same building in Canary Wharf, shouldn't they have thought that through?
they do have a problem with property destruction. Let's be
it's almost
honest.
as bad as an Aronovich novel, isn't it?
Yes. I think that, yes, he does like his big finales. Though amongst our weapons,
He does write the
big.
best chase scenes I've ever seen in books. Anyway,
Yes,
that's
I
neither here
didn't
nor
like
there.
that either. Christians just said he hated the Doctor. You are under unit control. Lethbridge Stewart wouldn't have had that. The proper Lethbridge Stewart.
Yeah.
But
The Brigadier.
Yeah, the Brigadier. So they work out. It's cleverly thought through, but the spikes in the brain patterns that are causing this, if you transpose them onto a musical stave, they become notes.
Yeah.
Allowing Melanie or Bonnie Langford to do some singing. Except with a lovely little twist to it. Actually, it's not notes. It's the sound of a giggle. The notes of a giggle.
The first giggle.
Yes, well, Stooky Bill. The doll that John Logie Baird used in one form of television. Because I was going to say Ennio Morricone, but it's not that, is it? Marconi, I think it might have been Marconi.
Marconi's radio.
Yeah, I think, no, it's a company,
Okay.
I think. But they came up with an alternate television system at the same time as Baird came up with his version of television. The BBC tried both out. 1 week it would be one version, 1 week it would be the other. However, if you had a television, it had to be for one of the sources and not the other. So when
it was beta versus VHS, basically.
Yeah, essentially, and when the American version of telly was the chosen format, mainly because for some strange reason John Logie Baird's offices burnt down, and he lost it all. This is history, by the way, education. The BBC went with, I'm sure it was Marconi, and what's happened is, because Logie Baird's assistant got the Stooky Bill doll from the toy maker, it's a possessed doll. Ooh, scary. And the giggle has stuck inside television signals ever since, making it hauntingly familiar to everybody. Yes, Brian, I can see your constipated look.
Idiot's Lantern.
I was thinking that. I mean, I don't know if you heard me last night. I said, hungry.
Right?
Yeah. So, it's a nice thing. It's a nice idea. The human race is going to destroy itself. So they go back in time, find the toy maker's shop, and with the worst German accent going.
Yeah, but he's so good at doing the very worst German accent.
I mean, it's
possible.
obviously deliberate. It's because the toy maker, as has been discovered, is a racist.
Yes.
And they have a chase through the toy maker's domain, corridors and doors and things like that. And then the toy maker gives them a puppet show showing Donna what's happened in the meantime. With the death of Amy Bond, the death of Clara, the death of Bill. But that's okay then!
Yes.
And Christian's just said the accent's deliberately bad, but it's delicious, and the puppet show was very stark. So, good timing there, Christian. So,
it was also
and this has been seeping through. More so in this, but also in the other couple of specials. Just how strung out the Doctor is.
How traumatized.
I mention this because of where we are in the plot with the deaths of companions and the flux, where half the universe gets destroyed, ostensibly because of the Doctor. It's not their fault, but it's Tech-Tayun. But, you know.
I also think that this is good for character, and it's good for Donna, who didn't really know much about previous companions other than Rose, and Martha, right? Rose and Martha she met.
There's a wonderful thing going around at the moment, just a picture of Martha with, "Where's my tenant?"
Yeah.
But
she's lost out again.
It's all right. She's got better things to do.
Martha.
But so it's good character-wise, and it's good thematically for where we're going at the end of the episode, and where we've been in Wild Blue Yonder in those conversations. But it's also really good for introducing new people coming. You know, this is on a new platform. You've had 2 episodes previous. You know, this is good for bringing other people up to speed in a way that works within the narrative that, you know, experienced fans are going, "Oh, yes, absolutely. I understand what you're doing." And he's using this to mock him. But new fans are going, "Oh my God. And her? And her? And her?"
Christian has
so
said...
it's really good writing.
It's been building. And did you note what the Toymaker said about mixing up the Doctor's life? Yeah, it's a jigsaw. He's made a jigsaw of the Doctor's life, which is doubling down on a couple of other little comments from Davies in script. For example, Destination Skaro, the timelines and canon are ruptured. You know, it's a case of everything's up for grabs now. The rules aren't there. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, time will tell. Time, and depending who the writers are, will tell.
Well, yes, that too.
Whilst they're in the shop, in the Toymaker's domain, the Doctor plays a game against the Toymaker. Now, they've already played one game back in 1966 with Bill Hartnell. And the Doctor, in that particular instance, won. This time the Doctor loses. However, he invokes the best of 3 rule, which the Toymaker can't resist. They go back... managed to get back to modern day, to UNIT, and they start playing the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
I loved that whole sequence. I really did.
It was a really fun sequence.
Yes.
It was very reminiscent of The Master.
Yes, very much so.
Well, okay, you can't have MPH in anything without...
and not do a musical.
Yeah, you have to do the musical number.
Oh, there's going to be another musical number at Christmas. The Goblin song.
I approve. I like how sinister this song
is. That with a capital S?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he
Dr.
pulls
Sinister.
people in to his game to destroy them. His play is dangerous. You know, turning people into balloons and things.
Oh, that was horrible. Even Thanos didn't do that.
Well, no.
Well, he also only turned someone into cubes and had them fall apart. He disintegrated Wolverine's skeleton, so he was just a fleshy, spongy mess.
Yeah, we're talking about the comic book there, though, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about the MCU, which most of our viewers, or one of them,
that
will
sucked.
probably know. Talking of our viewer, it's giving foundation to things, and it's not just coming out of nowhere. Fair enough. Loved it. Talking about the song, loved it. Very well done. And MPH was such a threat.
He was. Yeah, he was diabolical.
I love it when a guest star is given the chance to chew the scenery, but they do it carefully.
Yeah.
So it's a proper camp performance rather than just somebody overacting.
Well, and
it's contained.
I did watch the YouTube behind the scenes thing. Did you watch that?
I watched Doctor Unleashed. Is that the same thing?
No, they do a little behind the scenes YouTube. It's like 10 minutes.
Okay.
And they interviewed Neil Patrick Harris, and he said he got an Instagram DM from Davies saying, "Hey, I've written this thing. Will you do it?"
Well, they'd worked
And he
together,
read the
hadn't they?
script.
On It's a Sin.
Yeah, yeah. And he read the script and said, "I'm in. I don't know Doctor Who, but I'm in."
He didn't even know the Doctor was an alien.
However, he was also working with Ryan. No, it wasn't him. It was Ncuti Gatwa was working with Ryan Gosling, and Gosling turns up to work with
Barbie.
With a Ncuti Gatwa as the Doctor T-shirt, which is obviously illegal.
Made, yes.
Made Ncuti's day, posted it up on Instagram. Immediately, RTD says, "Right, we're going to have to get the copyright police in." Apparently, Ryan Gosling is a huge fan of the show. So
awesome.
Yeah, who's Ryan Gosling?
He's Ryan Gosling.
Do you want to take this one, or
chill? Don't bother.
We will get you up to date on the previous 25 years of pop culture at another time.
No.
How good is your stomach for handling the rom-com?
I'm not particularly fond of rom-coms.
I don't consider most of those rom-coms. They're depressing at the end.
I liked The Boat That Rocked, but that wasn't really a rom-com.
If people die at the end and they don't have a happy ever after, it doesn't count as a romance.
Nicholas Sparks, how good are you for handling that stuff?
Who?
Doesn't know who Nicholas Sparks is.
No.
Okay. Lost that reference.
Go back to the 70s or 80s British references, and I might be there.
Okay, first of all, you need to see the Barbie movie because you will deeply enjoy
I
it.
would like to be honest with you. I get the feeling it's rather tongue-in-cheek.
Yes, and it's camp in all the right ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tongue elsewhere.
That's why I made $1 billion.
That was a funny joke. Yeah. So the giggle. Lilibet, do you want to go first on this one? Brian did talking first last time.
Well,
we got the regeneration to discuss as well. Stop bullying him.
She shouts at the darkness.
The darkness has just come walking towards me.
Do you have Vashta Narada?
Will the darkness be attacking you?
I should have called him that. What's going on?
He is rather bitey.
Come on, move. You've got him bloody trapped, haven't you, you little git?
You know what helps with that? A squirt gun.
No. I've read bad things about it. I used to use a water pistol, but
that's why Tormund doesn't get up on my desk anymore.
What are you doing?
You don't want the answer to that question.
Chestnut, come here. You've got him trapped, haven't you? You little bastard.
So, what did you think about the giggle a little bit?
I really enjoyed it. Now, I did not watch it under ideal conditions. Because Danielle and I were going out yesterday, I had about an hour right, sort of just after it aired. About 2 to 3, so after you guys started. To watch it before I had to be out of the house, and then we were supposed to do something else. So I was going to be not home till late, which the other thing didn't end up happening, and that's fine. The thing is, I watched it in the living room. There's a lot of glare on the TV. And this was a very dark episode.
Yeah.
So watching with glare wasn't great. And watching Doctor Who, creepy Doctor Who during the daytime takes a lot out of it. So, with that said, I very much enjoyed the episode. I watched it going, and then with 15 minutes to go, we get a regeneration.
Right?
And I thought, what do you mean? Like, I thought the last 30 seconds was going to be regeneration.
As a normal Doctor Who episode for regeneration, boom, done.
Right, credits roll.
Yeah.
And I loved the two of them. That was fantastic. And actually, as Siobhan was talking, I had the thought, okay, they're in a state of play, right? We established that later.
Yep.
The doctor asked best 2 out of 3. We get 2 doctors.
That's good. Yeah. I'm a bit worried though, because I've been seeing on the Facebook groups and everything that people are not happy about having Shooty play the doctor.
Yeah, I don't care about what people.
No, I don't care about them either. But I feel that having now 2 doctors in play
Yeah.
could potentially
I see what you're saying. And I mean, I could definitely see if there's going to be like a unit spin-off and then the doctor guest stars or something.
Right.
But this is the doctor who didn't want to go.
This is true.
And now he doesn't have to.
Now he's Uncle Doctor.
He's Uncle Doctor. Yeah, he's the one who's been through so much trauma. He's been through so much. And the first time he regenerated, he did it because he didn't want to. He didn't want to risk his life. He didn't want to go. He gave himself up for Wilf, but he really didn't want to. And we get the farewell tour, which I'm totally okay with because I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I absolutely see that this time he stands up to the Toymaker and says, your problem's with me, not with them.
Right.
Right? So in that moment of self-sacrifice, this doctor has learned a lot. And protecting the companions even more than before is ultimately important. And there's so many people he's not been able to protect, as they really pointed out. That's what he does. And the universe rewards him in that he gets a happy ending. And I love it. I love that this doctor, I don't need more trauma from the doctor. I want Shooty to go off and have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
He's not starting from a point of loss. He's starting from a point of joy.
Of triumph, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he came in at the win.
Yes.
However, he came in without pants.
Well,
did you notice that?
Yes.
He had half the doctor's clothes, and Tennant had half the doctor's clothes.
Which means that Tennant had no undercrackers on.
Yeah, yeah. Tennant was going commando during that entire scene.
Siobhan,
forgive me. Sorry, forgive me.
That's okay.
One of my cats has been a terrible bully. And
while you were cat
they've left
wrangling.
a smell.
Oh dear.
Yeah, which I can't
While you were
find.
cat wrangling.
Yes. Sorry.
You earlier said the doctor invoked 2 out of 3. Right? At the regeneration, there's 2 doctors out of the 3.
Sorry? 2 out of 3?
Best 2 out of 3.
Best of 2 out of 3.
But that's the gaming thing.
No, I know it's the gaming thing, but it's also reflected in the regeneration.
I'll agree with you on that.
And the Toymaker really, really lays on the whole foreshadowing thing a lot.
Oh, we've got stuff coming next year.
You have to face
subtlety.
You have to face so and so, but that's another person's problem.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll all regret when my children get here. Yeah, there's gonna be a whole lot of interesting things coming up. I do, however, hope for the Tennant Doctor. I just want to see him, hang up the shingle, say "Go fishing," gone fishing.
I'd like him to put on a big, thick sweater.
He gets an emotional support TARDIS.
Yes,
that's the original ship.
Yes,
he's got the original TARDIS with him.
He does, but
however, they're
like
now going to explain at Christmas how actually Shooty's TARDIS is the original TARDIS.
I don't
know. Who knows?
I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm trying to make a point of reading these out because we hardly ever get them. He said, Christian says, I get that, it makes sense. RTD is played kind of fair. It's explained 14 gets to do what 15 says. Therapy in the wrong order.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And he loved the foreshadowing.
Yeah.
They love the foreshadowing.
So does that also mean that when the Tenant Doctor actually recovers, he just blurs into Shooty?
Well, the thing is...
They remerge?
Ooh, I like that.
The thing is, there's a lot of thoughts going around, and it sort of makes sense. It's just the whole Tenant regenerating thing, when it gets to a certain point. That could fuck it up, but this could be the start of the Curator.
Mm-hmm. I do like that.
Yeah, this could be or the Valeyard.
No.
I'd love to see an Evil Doctor story.
We've had 2.
No, I mean like the Doctor goes bad, and the companions are the ones who have to save him.
Time Lord Victorious.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, not even that.
Okay. All right.
But I like that Tennant's Doctor got a happy ending. I like that they're all sitting around the table at the end, and we've had so much death that this is a moment of calm and peace and happiness. And Tennant originally ended in tragedy. Tate originally ended in tragedy as characters. And they both have recovered joy.
Yes. Yes, which is nice. It's how it should have been.
What I would like at some point in time during Shooty's run, to have the Tenant Doctor out on a boat in a rowboat, feet up, hat over his head,
in the background,
in a
drifting past.
Just you got this.
Yeah. There's a chance he might turn if they do a unit spin-off. I'm guessing.
Yeah, he might guest.
He might guest in that.
I mean, I'd love to see Donna in unit.
120,000 plus 5 weeks holiday.
Well, yeah, I mean, like her show up and they're doing some shenanigans, and she goes, "Oh, I don't think so."
Christian says RTD has come back and healed the things he left. I like the way he's
fixed his toys.
I like the way he's put that. I just realised my arm.
I like the whole puppet angle with that too.
Also, the thing that drove me crazy about the Chibnall era is that the endings did not exist. There was major third act problems in the writing. The resolutions did not exist. Villains were not punished. Heroes were not rewarded. Things were not finished. And it is obvious from this episode that he started with that scene in the garden and worked backwards on how he was going to get there.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
How do I get all those characters where I want them to be at the end? And, and then you get heavy, like, Chekhov's mentions earlier in the episode.
Has anybody seen my gold tooth, by the way?
Yeah, that was...
Painted my fingernails red and picked it up.
I think that might have been the hand of Jinx Monsoon. I don't know. But the Master RTD has said the Master won't be coming back for at least a couple of years. But as we know, RTD lies.
Well, it takes a while to regenerate an entire body.
It's true.
Oh, he's done it so many times.
I'm going to have to go back and watch the episode. As I said, I didn't watch it under ideal conditions, so the lighting wasn't very good, and now I know what to look for. I want to see who's wearing red nail polish.
Interesting.
I like the new fan insert girl. The scientist lady in the wheelchair.
She's not a fan.
Yes,
She's not like Osgood. She's not a fan of the Doctor.
She's almost a fan.
No, I think she sees him as a
necessary
colleague.
Attribute.
Yeah.
As a fellow scientific advisor that she thinks maybe wasn't very good.
Which does make me wonder where Osgoods have gone.
I know exactly where you're going with this a little bit. Because being in IT, all right, I often have to take over for other people in IT. And you're looking around the lab like, where the fuck are the notes? And why didn't everybody write this shit down? What the fuck? What's the password for this?
So how I run the show, you mean?
Yeah.
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 Yes. Well,
Exactly.
I mean, in administration, there's always some secretary who's forever old, and when she retires, all knowledge goes with her.
Yes. Yes.
And they're
And-
constantly calling her up.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
You know, Doris?
I've heard some of your employers have done that in the past to you.
Yeah.
In previous employees, obviously. Not the current ones. They're great.
But that is the feeling I get with her. She treats him like another scientist, but she thinks that maybe, and you know, academics do this to each other.
Oh, yes.
Where like, I'm going to treat you as a colleague, but I secretly think your method isn't as good as mine, or your process
But I'm
isn't
better.
as good as mine.
I need
better.
I need to make a little point, which made me laugh
be fair-
laugh like a drain. I'm going to say this whilst I remember. In Star Beast, there were complaints when a character crossed her legs.
Oh yes.
And
so here she stands up.
Yeah, and RTD months before had that, and also Kate showing that exact mindset.
Yes.
You know, and it's a case of this is representation. This is what it's like to be seen. I watched the reaction from Fail Whale on YouTube. He's a black guy, black kid actually. I say that, I don't know how old he is. But seeing Shooty, and he said the Doctor's got the same hairline as I've got. Representation is important.
It
Oh
matters,
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
it?
Plus having cool gadgets. That wheelchair was decked the fuck out.
Just as well Pertwee didn't get hold of it, to be honest.
I'm waiting for her to, pop out a Dalek cannon from that thing.
This is why Dave was not allowed to have a golf cart, because he would have put Nerf guns on it.
He would.
I'm with.
You didn't know, Dave. Trust me, as far as you would take it, Dave would take it.
Do you guys remember the show Junkyard Wars? It aired on Discovery.
Scrapyard Challenge.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Back when that was on, I found their email. So I sent them in a thing. Urban assault vehicles. Build a tank, put Nerf guns on it, and have at it.
Thing is, there is now a Nerf nuke.
Yes, I know.
You could build a launcher. Right, I think the kids have calmed down.
People should not be encouraged.
Yes, they should.
Sinister
Imagine
has
if
a
all
large
wars were
collection
built
of
with
Nerf.
were fought with Nerf.
I know. I say all wars should be fought by politicians.
I just think everyone should keep their hands, feet, and objects to themselves. It's not actually that hard. On the naughty step with everybody.
I'm with her. I'm with her.
Time out
Sorry.
until y'all figure it out.
And I'm going to sit here with my arms crossed, tapping my feet and looking at you, quite frankly. Because it's not good enough, quite frankly.
You
It's
learned
not good
at
enough.
5 years old, hands, feet, and objects to yourselves. It was good then, it was good now. I'm not interested in why.
I'd like to see politicians, if there's going to be a war, they're the ones who get us into it, so I'd like to see the politicians fight it. Rather than everybody else. They want a war, go and fight it.
Hang on. I'm picturing something.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Given our current political landscape here in America,
Yeah, there's going to be some seriously rejigged
there are some
wheelchairs.
people with some incredibly punchable faces.
I think they should just all sit in a room.
Found a tennis ball.
They do not get their dinner until they work it out. And they're going to work it out very quickly.
Or else.
Yeah, or else I'm going to go in there and work it out for them, and they're not going to enjoy that.
I'm watching you. All
I
right.
don't care who started it. I'm ending it. We're done.
I've got a horrible feeling that Chestnut, when he was attacking...
Ooh, we have a new comment in chat.
Yeah, hang on.
Thoughts on the new
Chestnut.
Sonic 15S? You seen the video about the inscription on it? So good, and it looks better in action than in stills, to be honest.
I was talking,
About the cat.
yes, about the fact I think it's actually made him poo himself.
No.
He's so scared.
Oh.
My old cat did that to another
He's
cat.
it's Chestnut's such a bully. I don't like the
For
new Sonic screwdriver at all. I'm sorry, but I don't.
I've seen it,
I haven't
but I
seen
haven't
enough
seen
of
it
it.
in. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the communicators in Galaxy Quest.
Fair. That's fair.
It's sort of round when they flip it open. That's kind
We
of
used
what
to
it
have
looked like.
phones like that.
Yes.
And come on, brain. Character options will be raking it in because they did 2 runs of the 14th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver. No one realised there'd be a 15th Doctor one.
They did. They knew.
Yeah. There's going to be some people out of pocket. I'll tell you that much.
Well, they had to know because they had to have the other one in production already.
Kept
This is
selling
what
out.
Rosie thinks of my opinion.
Quite right too. Oh, you
So-
see, happy cat.
Well,
Not
hungry
bullying
cat.
others.
Hungry cat.
They're very
She's bullying
affectionate when they're
me.
hungry.
So, did
Yeah.
you enjoy the giggle?
I did. I would like to watch it again. I do think there's probably one too many ideas in it. Because there's just an awful lot. And I know it was not feasible under the circumstances. It should have either been 2 episodes and end it when they're in the realm, with the dolls attacking Donna. There's your cliffhanger.
Okay.
Or when the toy maker does that and the battle's going to be the 21st century. Boom. There's your cliffhanger. Or give me 20 more minutes. And I think it needed a little room to breathe.
Too frantic.
Yeah, just a little bit. But
Yeah, but
I really
that goes to
enjoyed
the
it.
overall state the Doctor has been in. He's been
maybe-
running and running and running and running more and just
Running?
he can't stop.
Yeah.
Well, he has to now.
Well, I think if he does stop, and I do understand that feeling, actually. If I stop, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And I will have to process what has happened. I will have to figure out, if I start crying, I'm not going to stop. If I let go, will I be able to get control back again?
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody who's been through trauma, and he's been through trauma, probably understands that feeling.
Which, the toy maker made it very clear to the audience at home. So leading into this.
And we've had 2 aliens on the trot who've delighted in torturing him with his own experiences.
Yes. Yep. Not good. Right then. We think that hang on. Let me get the calendar up. Our next show will be on Boxing Day, the 26th of December. It's a Tuesday at 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern, where we'll be talking about the church on Ruby Road. Next Saturday, do we have an RPG? 17th.
Maybe.
Good.
If I know.
Okay. So that's from our games master there. So he's flashing blade way of doing things. Good thing from Christian. Yes, watched it twice. It's my favourite of the specials. Mel was a welcome guy. I sat there and went, Mel!
Yeah.
Yeah. Having a regeneration 15 minutes before the end was wonderful. I felt very sorry for Shooty. Normally their first scene, they may be in the studio at the same time and they quickly do the changeover and that's it. And the new Doctor gets a sentence or something and that's whatever. Or, as has been the case in the past, they've had to film them separately months apart, so they never get to meet. Not only did Shooty have to, he had to give about 15 minutes worth of his Doctor in front of David Tennant. He had to do it in his underwear.
No. Not Shooty's underwear. David's underwear.
Yes, he had to do it in David's underwear.
But here's the thing. You've mentioned...
so I'm just very, very impressed by the way the guy managed it.
He did a beautiful job.
Fantastic job.
You mentioned that it's obvious that Davies is preemptively responding to what the worst fans' criticism is going to be. And here, by doing this and doing this entry with Ncuti's doctor, he has said, this is the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor accepts the doctor. I'm not playing with y'all.
That's fair. So
it was,
I love when Russell said...
There's no question about, is it the doctor? Is it the same? Is it... No, bam, it is. Let's move on.
it's Mr. Davies to you.
I love when he said, if they say don't do this, I immediately, boom, right there.
Yep.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, of course you are. Because you're a git.
No, that's what Russell said.
And if Russell told you to go and jump off the cliff, would you?
No, I'd ask for Disney money first.
And presumably a parachute?
Mm-hmm. Let me see the money first, okay?
Parachutes don't tend to work off cliffs. It depends how high up. Anyway.
Or possibly, a CGI cliff.
Like I said, Disney cliff. I'll take a Disney cliff any day of the week.
Although that is usually how Disney gets rid of their bad guys in their films. They fall off very high places.
Just a little thought about the whole Disney thing. Just occurred to me. Does this make Jodie Whittaker a Disney princess?
Yes, obviously.
Right.
This also makes David Tennant a Disney princess.
Yeah? Oh, I approve.
Which he would quite enjoy.
Oh,
it also makes Peter Capaldi a Disney princess.
He'd be very Scottish.
Which I would pay money to see, okay?
Oh, God.
Hey, what's going to happen when they do the reunion show?
Well, Peter said he's not going to come back for a reunion. He says it's done. He's not coming back. We won't see Eccleston, especially with RTD in charge.
Mm-hmm.
So...
But I don't think we need another reunion show for a while.
No, we shouldn't have.
They did it really well in the 50th. The Power of the Doctor was a nice tip of the hat. You don't need any more. I mean, I have
to the actors who are saying no. Disney money.
I would. I mean,
integrity, Brian. I'm an actor.
Disney money.
If I were
integrity doesn't pay my rent.
No, Rosie, you may not eat that. That is my cookie, and it is chocolate.
So
you may
both
not have
Lilibet and I are having more incidents.
Yeah, well, I'm having a dog doing a pee stand. So.
Yeah.
Oh dear, we'll hurry up. Okay, so 26 Boxing Day will be here. Hello. And I'm rushing this now because Brian needs to really go to the toilet with his dog, which is nice. They do these things together. I need to go out. Bless little Ace.
Hello, pretty doggy.
Christian, thank you for watching. We had somebody watching.
Thank you.
Ah, dear. Currently for 21st of January, both Toby Haydock and Stephen Noonan will be joining us to talk Quatermass 2.
Okay, so I have between now and then to watch Quatermass 2 properly?
Yep. We're definitely talking about a TV series. It's down to you if you watch the film as well. It would be interesting to have a compare and contrast, to be honest.
I think David Tennant was great in that one, too.
He was in the Quatermass Experiment. The live version. Anyway, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Happy Christmas, everyone. In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. It seeing as Christian's in chat, I'll do it.
Uh-oh.
Hang on. Right. Nothing rehearsed about this. And incidentally, Happy Christmas to all of you at home.
You've got to fight for what you want, for all that you believe. It's right to fight for what we want, to live the way we please. As long as we have done our best, then no one can do more. And life and love and happiness are well worth fighting for. They're well worth fighting for.
On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 John Levines. Christmas goat.